Here's a thought. Every person, pet, and perspective is welcome at Kinship. It's a mantra that Eddie King uses to lead his team. As head of engineering at the Kin, he's building a better world for pets and their people. He shared how his company uses technology to help animals in need. This is Profiles in Brilliance. Hi, I'm Kelly Wenzel, Chief Marketing Officer of Andela, and with me is Eddie King, Head of Engineering of the Kin at Kinship. Eddie, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me, Kelly.
Yeah, so let's start with, I'd like to know a little bit more about you and your journey. So if we think about what brought you here, can you share with me the top three pivotal moments in your career?
Oh yeah, so I'm an engineering leader, but I'm an engineer at heart. I started as an engineer, and the first experience to professional engineering was at NASA. And there
Way to start.
It was a great experience. I think it's a pivotal part of my career for sure. And a big part of it is that being in that environment where we've got engineers writing software to do simulation for the space shuttle and space station, and training astronauts, getting to meet astronauts in person, getting to meet John Glenn. And then the other thing
you just gave me goosebumps.
Oh.
That's a pretty cool thing.
It was. The thing about that work environment is you have engineers building things, writing code, but you also have scientists who, when they were 5 years old, looked up at the sky and said, "This is what I want to do with my life." The thing that gets me excited is doing something that's never been done before. And of course, at NASA, everything we were doing, almost everything, had never been done before. The second experience for me was at a company called GT Nexus. It was a startup that I joined as employee number 27. I was the first engineering leader there. And when I left that company 14 years later, we had 1,000 people. So it's a supply chain cloud. It was the first supply chain cloud ever built. And I was there, and my team actually launched the first international digital booking of cargo on a ship for international travel. And then the third scenario was at a automation. So I did a lot of supply chain and automation in the kind of middle part of my career. And the automation company Navis is a company that automates container terminals. So it's not just about efficiency, but safety, the safety for people not being out in the yard and that kind of thing. So those were three pivotal moments, and they all have the same common thread of this doing something for the first time that's never been done before. And I would say at Kinship, we're positioned to do that again, to have another. That's one of the things that brought me to Kinship. It's a pet care technology company. So in its own way, it's quirky. There are quirky things about pet care technology, but the kind of people that attracts are just so, they love their pets so much, and they really feel a sense of purpose.
So Eddie, for people who don't know, what is Kinship? What do you do?
Yeah, so Kinship is a technology company, software company, I would say first. And it is a company that is focused on the pet care industry. And specifically, we're creating a platform that is mobile first. We're building that platform to make the world a better place for pet parents, which in turn makes the world a better place for pets. We have to help the pet parents first to help the pets.
This idea of breaking ground and doing things that have never been done before, but with intention and with purpose, that sounds like it's been a motivating thread. So how has it changed either your leadership style or how you're building your teams?
Yeah, I think the big thing about this trying to break new ground is you have to realize that for every great invention, the electric cars, spaceships, mobile apps for pet care, for every one of those, there's 1,000 failures. There's 1,000 times where the idea didn't work out. And that kind of mindset, the learning culture. So when I'm looking for talent, the number one thing I'm looking for is learning culture, the growth mindset, the fact that, hey, I want to learn all the time, and I'm okay failing.
It feels like that's a really important ingredient to create the safety to fail and the safety to be willing to experiment.
Yeah, Kelly, it's a great observation. I think it is that trust. I mean, you hear that so many times in culture discussions is trust, but really it is that trust that, we're partners in this.
So Eddie, can you explain your job to me, for someone who's not in tech? What is your role?
Yeah, so I'm an engineering leader. So The role that I have now is where I love to live. It's this role that where I'm actually doing technology as well as leading teams. So I build teams. In most companies, we use Scrum, like a Scrum process where there's a standalone team that's full stack. It can do end-to-end development of features is kind of the goal. Part of my role is to help build the teams and find the right chemistry in the teams and the right mix of skills and personalities so that the team is healthy. That's probably the most important thing I do from a team standpoint. And then I also do everything day to day. Part of getting my hands dirty, if you will, is very important to build that kind of trust and partnership with everyone on my team. And that is like doing code reviews or stepping in to help with software design, and giving feedback to product managers and UX team members on what's the best, a way to create the user experience or what the limitations are and that kind of thing.
So I'm curious, if you were to go back and give your younger self any piece of advice, what would it be?
For sure, it would be the realization I've made in the last maybe 10 years is that what the joy that you can have from being a multiplier, like actually, aspiring to be a multiplier and having that effect. And in my younger part of my career, because I was very technical, writing code, that when I got into more of a lead position, like within a team, I would still try to hold on to everything instead of stepping back and letting go, and letting others step in. And even now, I like talking about technology. I like it a lot, to a fault for sure. So I've kind of got this new goal that I've had the last couple of years is yield the mic, drop the mic and let others step in and speak when, even if it's a topic I know very well, but that kind of stepping back. And I think that is just a sign of that I'm starting to realize the value that everyone brings to the table, not just what my contributions are. So I think that's the biggest thing. It's really stepping back and trying to be thinking about how what I'm doing can make an impact across many, many parts of the organization.
I love what you just said. It just indicates so much awareness as a leader that you're trying to create a space for others to risk, to go, to shine, and step back and let them have that space, but be there to catch them.
Yeah.
If they need it.
Yeah.
So you said you like talking about technology to a fault. So here we go.
Okay.
I could not sit next to head of engineering and not ask about AI and the impact it's having on technology.
I would say that with AI and the same with robotics and the same even with social media is that, or maybe even the origins of the internet, is that, AI, in my view, it's good. I'm glad AI is getting a lot of attention because the Bay Area definitely needed it. I mean, we've been through a tough couple of years, and the kind of social media and platforms, SaaS platforms, are all going through some tough times because we're at scale now. We're at scale. So what happens next? It kind of plateaus. So I think having AI in the mix has been a wonderful thing from that standpoint. I think it's the thought that AI is going to take over the world in the next 50 years. It's very, very unlikely. Just like robots are not going to take over the world next. There's no way. There will be bad actors. There'll be use cases with AI that are bad, need to be prosecuted bad. But there are also going to be a lot of great things. Like imagine, for example, we're using AI at Kinship to take a veterinarian summary of what their advice is, and actually go look through thousands of articles written by experts, also written by professionals, and give recommendations. And so that kind of thing definitely can make a difference because it's something a human couldn't do. There's no way.
We think about that at Andela as well. How do you find talent at scale with the human? It's not possible to make the world your hiring pool on humans alone. You need AI and technology to do it. It sounds like you're similar use case.
Same.
All right, you ready for a lightning round?
Sure. Yeah,
okay. I know you're a pet owner. What was the first pet you ever owned?
It was a dog, a Dachshund mix named Betsy. I had good days and bad days, just like every teenager. So being able to go talk to Betsy, and Betsy would always listen and always be there.
What is something, Eddie, that I can't Google about you?
Oh, wow. Okay. Here's one. I met Daniel Radcliffe and the cast of Harry Potter. And this was so my son was I guess you always are, a Make-A-Wish kid. And he's fine. He's doing great now. And we were like, we want to meet the cast of Harry Potter. And so they said, we're going to take you to the theme park and you'll be one of the first people to ride the rides. And we were like, this is great. It's a good, second, prize. And so we get there and we're in the park and we're kind of seeing all the great sets and everything they were set up. And then the organizer came out and said, you're about to meet the cast of Harry Potter, starting with Daniel Radcliffe, and we were just going insane. And so we got to meet, it was my son's dream to meet Harry Potter, and he got to meet Harry Potter. So that's something you probably, we didn't put that on social media, so you probably couldn't find it. Yeah.
What is an interview question you always ask?
Give me an example of when you brought something in new, or you had, you became a thought leader, in a certain area. And definitely, depending on the role, ask about mentoring. Mentoring is very important. Like, what's the number one thing in mentoring?
Okay, last question. I was going to ask if you could invent anything, what would it be? But I'm going to stay in the Harry Potter theme and say, if you could wave a magic wand and bring anything into existence, what would it be?
I think it would be some way to be able to mass produce food anywhere. I would say it's probably the most important thing. Food and water are the most important things, and being able to do that locally anywhere in the world.
I love that answer, and I have loved getting to know you. I'm so grateful that you made the time to sit down together today. Thank you so much, Eddie.
I've really enjoyed it. Thank you, Kelly.